they say is 3,000 cases done, where you're actually putting in plates and screws in people's bodies, if that is contaminated, that is a disaster. So you need to have proper sterile operating rooms. And a big part of that is functional air conditioning units. So when you have a theater that is going hot, well, let me just finish this point. So when you say how many theaters are working, you can have a theater that's working because you're doing the cases early in the morning before the sun gets hot. And you only do cases that last an hour or less and say that it is working. And then you can reel off the numbers of cases being done at a press conference to say that it is functional without giving the true picture to the Jamaican people that since August 26th, the Bustamante Hospital has only been doing 20% of the cases it normally does. So you can, you hear this that there are lies, damn lies and statistics. When you give the statistics that Bustamante is doing X amount of cases, therefore it's all right, which is what was done. It is not telling you the true story that the cases that are being done are only a fifth of what should be done. And so how many cases should you know that? Well, I mean, the number would vary based on which teams are working, which theaters they're working in, and so on. But if they say 3,000 cases done, you know, that's only 20% of what really should be the case load, and it should be 15,000.
Wait. Let me carry in Dr. Blake a second there, please. I want Dr. Blake to give me a true synopsis of what is happening at the Bustamante Children's Hospital. Producer, add Dr. Blake for me, please.
Yeah, Andre, can you hear me now? Yes, I'm here. Are you hearing me now?
You're doing We're hearing you now, Dr. Blake. Welcome back to the
I've changed my device.
TV. This is awesome. Dr. Blake, how long have you been practicing medicine?
Now, I've been practicing medicine now for 48 years.
Wow. Almost 50.
Almost 50 years. When I started,
Blake.
I said when I started out, I was really very young. I was the youngest in my class.
Yes. So what is the reality happening at the Bustamante Children's Hospital now?
No, only very small cases are being done, and we will do emergencies. That, you know, life-saving emergencies that have to be done, because the environment is so hot and uncomfortable that you run the risk of sweating into the patient wounds. Because I've had on occasion, my sweat has dropped into the operating site, which is really puts the patient at a serious risk. And if I should do any long case at children's, I have to rehydrate after each case, because I sweat a lot, because in orthopedic surgery, I'm wearing a lead apron and you're under the hot operating lights. So you need a very cool environment.
So how many months has this been happening, Dr. Blake?
Well, it has gotten serious over the last 2 months. But it has been an ongoing problem. Almost every summer, the air conditioning units give trouble because they burnt out some components. The components were replaced, and the suppliers called in and they changed supplier, and it really never properly worked since then. So what has been happening, there are only small cases have been done. The general surgeons do a lot of small cases that, you know, like hernia repairs.
Yes.
And that they can do in a few minutes.
Yes.
So the numbers are kept up. So if you look at the straight numbers, it will look like a lot of work is being done. But anything very involved cannot be done.
So you're talking like the major surgeries as Dr. Brady coming to do with the scoliosis, etc., can't be done.
Yeah, it can't be done. And this is what happened and caused the problem with our cases, because there are some scoliosis cases that we can do in under 2 hours, and some that will take 4 hours. So the longer cases, we couldn't safely put them on the list. And for a mission that we normally, between us and the university hospital, we normally do anywhere between 12 to 15 cases. This time around, only one case was done at the university hospital, as only one operating theater was made available. One patient, there were 3 patients were scheduled. One couldn't afford the fee. One had a cold, and therefore only one case was done. Bustamante Hospital, we canceled all our long cases, including the patient who went on social media and had the story in the papers. But we canceled that number of long cases, and we only did 4 short cases in the one operating theater that we could use. So we had 2 operating days. We did 2 cases one day, 2 the other day. And that is what happened. But there are many other patients. If you look at it, we did 5 cases out of our usual 14, 15 cases. 9
per
cases
day.
were not done. No, over the period of the mission.
Of the mission.
The mission is a joint mission between us and the university hospital. So university will do 5 cases because they operate on one day, and we do 10 because we operate over 2 days. So the university was only able to do 1 case, because it's not as if their theaters are functioning 100% either. So to give the impression that if all the cases that gone to the university hospital, everything would have been hunky-dory, is really just to try and mislead the public.
So Dr. Blake, so you're saying apart from what is happening at Bustamante, equally at the university hospital,
something is going on there.
A similar situation.
Something is happening there. I haven't the full details, but university, see, because and the story that we have gotten,
something is definitely wrong.
Is that something is wrong with the theaters at the university hospital that needs to be sorted out, so that they were only able to make 1 theater available for the mission. So when you try and sort out only the person who wrote the media and had her story in the papers, you're forgetting about all the other cases that were not done. We have more patients were not done than were done. And over the last 2 months, especially, I have had to be canceling all my long cases. Because normally in orthopedics, we will do 10 cases on an operating list. We're down to doing 3 and 4 cases per operating day. I mean, today I had a case that I wanted to do, and I've given the earliest date I could find to give the mother is in June next year.
June next year?
June next year, because the waiting time has ballooned out of sight. Before COVID, we had gotten our waiting time down to less than a month. COVID threw that out, but after COVID, we've never really gotten back to full operating time. And this is because of the problems in theater. Out of the frustrations, I mean, I appealed to Chase a few years ago to assist Bustamante Hospital to fix the operating theaters. I got some of the senior doctors at the hospital to sign off on a project proposal to Chase.
Yes. What was the outcome of that?
I subsequently got a call from Chase to say that they were ready to fix the theater. The administrators at the hospital got architects to come to make a plan to redesign the hospital, to redesign the operating theater. And that plan was You know, when they had the plan and they costed it, it was, I reminded the administration that there was a project before Chase, and Chase had indicated willingness to fund the project. So Chase was again approached, and Chase indicated that they were willing to fund the project. The project was put on hold by the ministry, and this is what I alluded to in my speaking to the media earlier this week. The project was put on hold.
So you're saying the project, so the project was put on hold, that you asked the Chase Fund to commission to start the operating theaters.
And the administration, the hospital, that also joined me in that project, and the project was put on hold. You see, and
so instead of blaming.
No, you're not coming through properly. You know, but having put the project,
I'm here now.
Yeah, having put the project on hold, then along comes this alleged power surge, and creates a problem that would have been avoided entirely if the project had proceeded. Because the project had plans to take theaters out of commission, fix them, and then when those two theaters, the ones that are giving the most trouble, are fixed, we move into those two theaters and fix the other two. And there are other infrastructure issues in theater that would have been sorted out as well. You know, so this is how we have gotten where we are.
Because but equally, when you speak about are you guys hearing me?
No, I'm not hearing
Dr. Dawes, are you hearing me?
You're in and out. I don't know, but for the most part, I'm hearing you.
Okay, Dr. Blake. So just let me understand. The Chase said that they wanted to come in to assist in sorting out the operating theaters. But the Ministry of Health did not approve for it to be done. Is that the situation?
That is the situation as I understand it, because the Regional Health Authority put a hold on the project. You know, so it never went forward. You know, and I think plans are now hurriedly being put afoot now to resurrect that program. You know, but there's I see some stuff in the media where Chase is now trying to deny that any project came to them before earlier this year. But I mean, I have the submission. I have a copy of the submission, and I know they can't, because I mean, I've been working with Chase to try and improve things at the Children's Hospital over the years. You know, I have been instrumental in getting a CM at the Children's Hospital, even though we didn't get the CM that we wanted. I have also assisted in getting laparoscopic equipment through Chase, and other equipment through Chase. So I am known at Chase. So people at Chase will call me off the record without putting anything in writing and say, Dr. Blake, we need to do this and we need to do that. You know, because you know, my involvement is not just medicine, but I'm involved in sports, and as a result, I'm known in other spheres.
So, Dr. Blake, you equally spoke about the suppliers not being paid on time. What is the situation that?
Well, when we have problems with our equipment, and they say call the suppliers, and we call the suppliers to come in and service the equipment that they supplied, they will tell us, look, the region owes us X amount of money, and until they pay up, we are not going to be taking on any additional debt. And that is something that happens across the board, you know, not just at Bustamante Hospital, but in all the hospitals, because my colleagues in other hospitals complain of the same thing as well. that the suppliers will not service the equipment that they provide because they have problems getting their payment. And if you're running a business, you can't be racking up expenses and not getting income. I think we might have lost the host.
I am back. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you. No, I'm saying that the problem of suppliers' complaints is not just limited to Bustamante Hospital, but it's something that happens right across the entire health sector. So when the minister lambasts the suppliers, he must remember that it's also incumbent on him to see that the ministry that he supervises, that they pay the people who do work for them on time, or else they're not going to want to rack up expenses without getting paid.
So you say it's a general thing across the ministry where several suppliers just not, so it's not just the AC people who are to maintain.
No, because we had that problem with the people who maintain the CM, where they would refuse to come in unless they get a purchase order up front. And it happens with all equipment that we have had to be maintaining over the years. But this is not the first time it happens. And where they say that when they do work, they don't get paid. So they're not going to do any work until their bills are paid. Or the debt that the ministry owes them is paid down.
Wow. So can you tell me what is the situation with the doctors? Because I'm equally getting to understand that the doctors are saying that many are
problem because and some of the promises made to the doctors in the reclassification exercises have just not been fulfilled. The doctors were promised that they would be made permanent employees and taken off contracts, and some of the regions have just not fulfilled that.
So you're saying that the minister that just left, who said that the doctors would be taken off, so you're saying that Nigel Clark's classification exercise is still incomplete?
It is still incomplete with the doctors. And my understanding is that the doctors are a little upset, to say the least, about this.
Wow.
Because I hear my junior staff on a daily basis complaining that they have not been made permanent employees as yet. So that is creating a problem.
Permanent plus the overtime is an issue.
Yeah, it is an issue. Because even the overtime rates, they are not being paid the agreed rates, and every time they go to negotiations, the payment time is put back. And they said, okay, let's make it effective at such and such a time, and it becomes effective at a later date.
Whoa.
But they will have to speak about that because I don't have the full details about that kind of issue.
But Dr. Blake, equally, the mission, how often does the doctors come from the United States?
These doctors, they have been coming to Bustamante Hospital and the University Hospital now for over 20 years. And they have done hundreds of cases at the place. I mean, it's one of the better missions that come to Jamaica, because when they come to Jamaica, the equipment that they put in the patients to straighten their spine, if those patients had to pay for that equipment,
yes,
they would have to pay millions of Jamaican dollars. Because when Dr. Brady spoke, and he spoke that he donates thousands of dollars of equipment, what he didn't say, it was thousands of US dollars worth of equipment. And that equipment is donated free because he has prevailed upon the people who supply him equipment in the States to come to Jamaica and donate their equipment free of cost. He's brought other teams with him, of physiologists, neurophysiologists that can monitor the spinal cord to minimize damage to the spinal cord. He has brought those with him to make the surgery safer. So it's the only place in the island where people who are not financially extremely well off
Yes.
And I have to use the words extremely well off, because you might have a decent job and can make all the, meet all your daily requirements. But to come and find $1 million plus in medical costs is not something that most families can afford. And if you have a child with scoliosis and you're not able to access Bustamante Hospital Mission,
yes,
it's going to cost you millions to rectify. So this mission serves a very important thing, because they give.
So you're arguing that before the mission came, we should have really sorted out the theater.
They should have paid some attention to sort it out. I mean, efforts were made and to sort out the theater, but every step there were problems. And this is why Dr. Brady was so upset, because at first we had tried to stop the mission, but with all these things go, if you stop a mission, you're going to have tremendous problems restarting.
Yes.
So Dr. Brady and his team insisted that they wanted to come, because even if they could do half the amount,
they would at least carry down the waiting list.
Yeah, and there are some cases that were time sensitive that have to be done every 6 months.
So what about the young lady who carried her mother carried her situation to the social media and the media? Dr. Brady didn't get to do that service.
No, he didn't get to do her.
So when will she be serviced?
Well, I can't answer that, because I really don't know. We have referred her to the university hospital on instructions, and we are not sure what is happening there.
Over 1 million creators and brands are growing fast.
Stay tuned for more PDTV news, evening highlights. Remember to show your support. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.